Hello, everybody, and welcome to Thousand Faces and Go Buff Yourself. Ooh, I just realized that the screens here are slightly out of alignment. Let me see if I can do one thing to fix that. Not that. Do-do. Oh, that's worse.
Hope everyone's doing okay today. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Why you gotta be like this?
It's a Tuesday. Don't forget to hydrate.
Well, I'm just going to, while we're getting started, take a sec here to readjust everybody's screens so that they look all pretty. They were just slightly out of alignment, and I can't abide that. Spent too much time working on this thing to have it be just slightly out of alignment, okay?
Everyone is sounding great. I just want to say that.
Well,
super smooth.
Actually, while on that topic, I do want to let you all know who haven't noticed it. In some of our recent streams, we've been having a little issue where the audio for everyone but me goes a little fuzzy. If that happens, please just let us know in the chat, because I can fix it super fast, but otherwise I have no idea it's happening. So, looking at you, chat, thank you very much for keeping us sounding good. And with that, let's handle some announcements. First of all, so glad to have you all back. Appreciate you being here and telling this story. This is, as always, an 18+ stream because it is a horror game, and we will almost certainly be cursing, and when I get, time, who knows, there might be legally consumed drugs on screen. So, 18+, just keep that in mind. If you have missed past sessions and you want to watch them, you can go onto our YouTube, or you can listen to them on Go Buff Yourself podcast. You can find anywhere that you can get your podcast now. I think I've gotten it pretty much everywhere. And I am very happy with how it is sounding. We've been putting a lot of work into making it sound good for y'all. So if you're into podcasts, we have 2 concurrent actual plays going on there. This one and The Wild Beyond, also featuring Mav and Lauren, but an additional 4 other players. So there's lots of goodies to be had. Anyone else have any announcements before we jump into tonight's show? No?
Playing video games.
Like
That's
right now?
No,
Oh,
playing
okay.
this game. Let's play video games on the internet.
Simultaneously?
I was like, damn, that's just skill if you're doing both.
No, it's disrespectful. I would give my full attention.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I will find you and I will cut you if you're playing video games.
You know what? Meet me in the street in Raleigh. It doesn't matter. Next week. Meet me in Raleigh, dog.
It's true.
1v1 me.
Wait, that's what I was going to say. Don't you two have a big announcement for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah.
We are going to be at, this weekend, Animate Columbus, and then the next weekend, GalaxyCon Raleigh, and at both cons, we have 2 stage Dungeons & Dragons shows featuring a number of other gaming guests, wrestlers, voice actors, depending on which one you're going to. So lots of fun to be had, but this coming weekend we'll be in Columbus giving away prints, raising money for, are we doing Pollinator Partnership this time?
Yes!
Raising money for pollinators and all of that.
Gotta do it!
So we will
Raising
be
money for
there.
the pollinators.
Because the HOA made us take down all of our free growth,
Yes.
so we gotta raise for them.
And while giving shout-outs, just want to go around and shout people out. If you aren't following Digital Clubhouse and checking out all the wonderful gaming content on there, you really should be. If you aren't buying dice from Morag's Dice, you really should be. From Matty.
Link in chat.
The link is in the chat. And if you aren't buying some prints or originals from SallyQuinnCreations, such as the one that just got shipped to us. But there are some wonderful original canvas paintings there and some wonderful prints. You should be checking those out. If you aren't following Anna Margaret to get all of your Magic the Gathering content and goodies, you really should be. And if you aren't following Lauren for all of her cosplay and booty throwing, you really should be.
I do. What
If
do
you
I
aren't
do?
following the buff DM for all
Yeah.
of your D&D tabletop RPG needs, you're just crazy. You need to go follow.
Look at all those
Follow.
beautiful links in the chat right now. Go support all of these wonderful creators. They are incredibly talented, and I'm grateful that they are taking time out of their day.
Holy crap. Ethan, these are our friends.
I know. I know.
We're so lucky.
I agree. Well, on that note, I think it's time to leave all of these good feelings behind. Enough of that.
Oh, no.
And jump into Chapter 6 of The City of the Crimson Tower. And we are back. Last we were in the City of the Crimson Tower, the five had followed the pleas of two children, made their way into a mysterious house, searched for an infant, finding a ghostly nursemaid and an empty crib. They ascended to the attic, finding the emaciated bodies of the two children who pled with them outside. They found a stairwell leading down and down and down. And they found a basement, a cellar of sorts, complete with family crypts empty, a living chamber of some sort where Hawthorne found a disturbing journal logging killings or sacrifices, a dining room littered with humanoid bones, with cuts made by a serrated blade. They descended deeper still and found a sunken ritual chamber, complete with manacles and an inscription on the stone dais that read, "Feed him." There were tendrils leading from the dais into the water and back into a hole in the stone wall where something was breathing and waiting. Upon seeing this, the five fled for a moment from this chamber, seeking something. Either something else other than one of them to be fed to this thing, or seeking better equipment and tools to take a different tact to dealing with it. But as they retreated back up to the, I suppose, upper basement, Gloria and Karina smelled an intense smell of rot and followed their noses Unfortunately, it didn't lead to Fruit Loops. It led to 3 ghouls that pulled their way out of the ground and started to attempt to shred Karina and Gloria. The rest of the crew came charging in, some more literally than others. And after a horrifying encounter with these creatures, including Gloria becoming paralyzed from the venom that seeped out of one of their overly long fingernail claws, Hawthorne disintegrating a few of them by ramming them with his horns, Karina setting one ablaze and then attempting to get Gloria back into focusing on this world wherever else she was. When we last left, the final of these undead monstrosities had just been obliterated by Hawthorne and Nyne. Brawk, Karina, and Gloria were still in the crosswalk, the intersection, just about 15 feet away from Hawthorne and Nyne. But that 15 feet gave Hawthorne the ability to turn on his flashlight and start looking around the chamber that they had fallen into. And what the two of them saw was a room festooned with moldy skeletons that hang from rusty shackles. There was one thing in particular that caught both Nyne and Hawthorne's attention in this room, and it was a painted wooden statue that was carved in the likeness of a pale woman. Slightly gaunt, very strong bone structure, and a cold, knowing glint in its painted eyes. Her left hand rested on a carved wolf, and in her right hand, a smoky gray crystal orb. And now that we have a moment longer, we also see from the ambient light of the flashlight, as the main beam still focuses on the face of this painted individual, we see that there are 5 unmoving shadows that have been burned into the wall. Soot marks stretching across the floor from the statue to where it goes up the wall, 5 of them. That chanting can still be heard as well. And the very first thing that I need everyone to do, because I want to remind you all of something. Yes, prior to coming to Bridgewater, prior to losing your memories, each one of you was accomplished in some way, experienced in this world. Undead are not something that are unheard of. But those memories are gone. This is the first time any one of you has been attacked in your memory by something that was rotting and not meant to be moving. So could I please get a fear check from everyone? So that is a spirit trait roll, please. And as a reminder, you do all start with 3 bennies. I start with none.
Oh shit, Brawk. Why is that fitting?
What did you all get first off? And then we'll see if we want to re-roll anything. Hawthorne?
13.
13. You are totally fine. Gloria?
An 11.
An 11. Okay, totally fine. Karina?
I got a 7.
The target number was 4, so you are also good. 9.
I got a 7 and it exploded. So I got
7.
7.
All right, and Brawk.
Critical failure 1.
Do you want to do anything about that?
That's giving up a Benny early.
Yeah,
That's early.
I think that this is actually a very fitting. Well, I can't fix my mind after I've let it go. I think this is really fitting for Brawk, but I don't think I'm willing to condemn him to death this early. So I'm going to go ahead and use a Benny.
I'm going to let you know the odds of he won't die even with a critical failure here. Probably.
Just not good for his longevity is what I'm saying.
Okay. Well then, go ahead and spend a Benny and reroll.
All right, we got to try.
I love this game.
It's not doing.
I got scared because I thought it was me at first. I was like, which one are my dice?
You look like you're
It
tipped
won't.
over.
What are you trying to do? Oh, you have to...
Sorry, I'm
It says
frozen right now.
Reroll with Benny, and then it won't let me do it.
Well, just go ahead and make
Just do
a
it.
spirit roll and then
Okay.
just subtract 1 Benny.
Got it. That's easier.
Yeah.
4.
4 is a bit better. So that...
And he throws up and passes out.
Totally fine. But that is going... So everyone manages to pass here. No lingering mechanical effects. However, before we pick back up, I do want to do a quick mental check-in with everyone here. And that is... either. You can answer either of these questions, or both. Your call. I'm interested in how you all are doing mentally and how you all are presenting on the exterior. Again, you can answer either or both of those. Nyne.
Nyne is covered in viscera from ripping the shreds of that ghoul that we fought, that I bounced on and he ripped the shreds. So he is covered in black ooze, blood, a little bit of bits of flesh and whatnot on his shirt and in his claws. But he's also quite very fucking angry, because why the fuck couldn't I hit this son of a bitch? Okay, I couldn't grapple him, I couldn't do any of that. So he feels that he couldn't protect Gloria at the point earlier, so he's kind of upset at himself, but also he's very, very angry. More than that.
And how is that anger manifesting on the outside?
His hands are quite what you would think would be fear trembles, but his hands kind of shake, and he's doing the trying to calm himself down by doing the stress thing, but more or less it's his tail. It's what angry cats do when it kind of just flicks in the air and subconsciously just moves around.
Love it. Take a Benny.
Yeah.
Gloria.
I think it's really interesting because the spirit roll that we made was for how we were feeling about the ghouls. And I know that I should have been frightened by the ghouls, but they're just a little creepy looking, probably misunderstood. They might be alive. I don't know. They don't really bother me too much. But that's not like the whole picture, because I think as I'm sitting here, and I don't want to freak out my friends. I'm trying to stay really calm. I know it's possible that many of them don't see me as a friend yet, but I already have found myself like really caring for these people I've been traveling with. Although there's just this repeating phrase, these sort of feeling in my head. I'm so worried. I'm not too worried about what creatures we might find, But the idea that I could lose control of myself is something I hadn't really considered. And I can't stop thinking about it.
Love that. Benny as well? Karina?
Karina is generally a very calm and collected person on the outside, but she is visibly frightened at this point. She's looking kind of every which way, keeping her ears open, like trying to focus on everything, but her eyes keep lingering back to Gloria, and her mind is still thinking about the idea of losing one's self. And so she's just kind of wringing her hands a little bit, obviously stressed out, constantly like looking in, wanting to check on Gloria, but not knowing what to say the whole time.
And how is that? Is there any physical manifestation of how Karina's feeling inside? Is there anything that anyone else looking at you would notice that would give away how she's feeling?
Besides her wringing of her hands, she has her face pretty stoically set, and her she has like a slight sheen of sweat building up now, but she's just wringing her hands, and just her eyes are darting, but her face is still set in a unreadable expression.
Okay. Benny? Brawk? Hawthorne?
Brawk is handling things as well as you might expect. The moment we entered this cramped corridor and were attacked by undead, he was skittish and anxious, sweating and fumbling. The moment that the undead was dropped, you'd think that there would be some semblance of relief. Instead, Brock's eyes start darting back and forth. He gets a heat in his chest and on the back of his neck that travels up onto the base of his skull. His stomach starts to turn. His hands shake. He's sweating uncontrollably. He almost can't stand on his own without steadying himself against the wall. He's incredibly anemic. The smell, the sounds, just the overall ambiance of the place that he's in is incredibly too much for his mind and his body to handle. As you see this physical manifestation, he starts breathing heavily, starting to hyperventilate, and he just hits the floor. He's scared. He's never been this scared in his entire life. He cannot remember a time when he felt so threatened by every single thing around him. He knows this isn't a hallucination now. He knows this is real, and he knows this is terror.
And Hawthorne. Benny for Brawk for that.
So there's always one friend in a group of people who are all freaking out, who's level-headed and keeping their shit together. And Hawthorne just randomly thinks this. He's like, it feels like I've been the big guy before in a situation where everyone's looking up to me, even if I wasn't. You know, this thing with horns that I just feel is just strange. He just knows that he was this person once to everybody. And so he's looking around at everyone. His hands are shaking, not from the goblins, but from worry about everybody else. And he's seeing what everyone's going through. And then he sees Brawk collapse, and he rushes over and picks him up. And he's just looking around at everyone, and he goes, you guys, we got to get back to somewhere that we know is safe, just for a bit, until we can gather ourselves together.
And Hawthorne, because that was a combination of playing into your edges and the fact that you had the highest spirit roll and playing into the tropes of horror of one person being level-headed, 2 bennies. There was a lot in that answer.
I just want to say that it was because of everybody else that I was able to do that answer. I just want to say that because everybody went through all their stuff and I felt like...
Well, then
that's what
fine,
I'm
you
gonna
get
do.
1.
I will accept your 1. I will accept
Take the
1.
second. All right, so
Team effort.
we have this moment where the camera focuses on everybody. We see the physical manifestations, the exterior indications of how everyone is feeling, from the wringing of hands to the eyes darting back and forth, a sheen of sweat, or maybe one of you just standing up and trying to get the others to focus. And because all of this has happened in the span of seconds, Brawk, Gloria, and Karina are still in that intersection. Hawthorne and Nyne still in this other room. Which, could the 2 of you, while you're in here, make me notice checks? So Nyne and Hawthorne.
I got a 7.
7.
Got a 4.
4. Okay. So no raises, but both of you succeed. And because you have the flashlight and because one of you has dark vision, there is no penalty here. You notice Nyne and Hawthorne. Both of you notice the fact that there are 2 exits from this room. The one that you came in and one on the exact opposite side of the room. You can't see where it goes, but you can see that there is a open passageway leading to a hallway that veers away. Hawthorne, because you got the higher of those scores, you also notice that right next to where you came in, so the northern wall of this room, there is a section of plaster on the wall that was made to look like the stone that this basement area, this cellar, is predominantly carved out of. But the coloration is just slightly off. And so you're able to see that it's about 5.5 feet by 2.5 feet, roughly the shape of a door. But as of right now, all you can see is that there is a section of wall that is not the stone it purports to be. And while the 2 of them have noticed this, the other 3 of you who are still in the hallway, do you stay there? Do you go to your friends? Do you go elsewhere? Gloria, Karina, and Brawk.
I think the second Brawk fell to the ground, Karina is beside him, trying to calm him down, wake him up, get him back to his feet. So she'll be doing that for however long it takes him to regain his composure.
You and Hawthorne both check in on Brawk in your own different ways.
I'm sitting and just moving each finger, just kind of twisting my wrist. Until someone tells me to go somewhere, I think I'm just slowly checking that each appendage still moves like it's supposed to.
Yeah, it's disconcerting to lose agency over your own body. And you do have it back. You can move your arms, you can move your fingers. There's some struggle the first few times that you contract and stretch your fingers as they get stuck at certain points, and you have to kind of work past it, but eventually the kinks get worked out and you have full control, but it is still a disconcerting feeling.
Hey, you guys, there's like a door over here. Nyne, can you come here? Am I crazy? I see something like a plaster. This doesn't look like it's part of the wall. What the fuck is going on?
Please
Nyne.
sort this out.
Oh, what?
Nothing. He says from the floor. He's doubled over. Brawk's just doubled over as you guys are talking.
Nyne's gonna look at what clearly might not be a real door, take the ghoul's body, and just chuck that shit through the door.
Yeah, absolutely. You take one of the ones that wasn't exploded by Hawthorne and just turned into dust, and you just grab it, pick it up over your shoulder, and just chuck it right into this. And you throw it with enough force, and the flimsy wooden door that was hidden behind the plaster was aged and rotted enough that as you do this, the top part of the door just splinters, revealing as the pieces of wood and plaster fall and clatter to the ground, and you look through the dust and look inside, you can see that it leads to stone stairs. And you can see that they lead about 10 feet up to a landing which has a wooden ladder leading up from there.
So whenever he picks up this body and throws it into this door, I am not looking at him. He's behind me. And so he does it without me even knowing. And I'm like, well, god damn it, Black Magic, what are you doing?
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not touching any fucking doors here. I'm not touching any fucking thing else. If there's a way for me to open a fucking door or any other passage that we might... See? Fuck this house.
You did this.
Fuck,
you did this.
You know what? Fuck.
All you. Oh, and you made Brawk sick.
First of all, I don't make Brawk sick, okay? Brawk makes Brawk sick. Okay? Are you good, Ace? You good?
I think you should go and cover it up. It smells pretty bad. I think he's just gonna keep getting sick.
First of all,
I'm good.
Brawk, get the fuck up.
Yeah.
Walk that shit off. All right?
Of course.
You want some gin?
Yeah, very much.
You can't keep giving people gin. That doesn't, it does taste good.
It's starting to run a little low.
I got it for no reason. I don't know. We're drinking it. That's the point.
All right. Gloria, Karina, you guys good? You guys ready to go check out the spooky ass hole we found?
I'll follow you all. I'm not really sure spooky hallways and I have done well so far.
For what it's worth, you did handle yourself pretty good. I will say that.
I guess.
Well, I'm proud of you all, and we all made it through, so that's the point. Brawk, let's just get out of this area before Brawk smells his own vomit again. He's gonna keep vomiting, and so Hawthorne is going to start walking up the stairs first because he feels like he can protect them a little bit better, at least if he goes first.
I will go and clean up and cover up the vomit, and then with the rest.
I love that this is officially a thing in this game. That Nyne just has to be a cat a little bit and cover that up. I love it. All right. So, are we starting to head through the door and up the ladder? Is that the plan? I know that Hawthorne is going first. Who's going last?
Right to the death.
I think Karina will stand waiting for everyone to go ahead, and then the second Nyne just gives her that look, she'll just shake her head and just follow the rest of them, letting him go last.
Thank you.
She'll roll her eyes.
Okay.
All right. So, Hawthorne, to get through, you first of all have to pull the remainder of this door and plaster apart. Not that that's difficult for you, but you grab hold and start wrenching, pulling it apart, and have to climb up the stairs and then start to ascend the ladder. You cast your flashlight up to see how far you have to climb. And you can see a trapdoor at the top of this ladder. But that trapdoor is small. And so is the point of your flashlight. It's very high above you. This is going to be a long climb. But you get started anyway. And eventually, after, I would say about 2 or 3 straight minutes of climbing this ladder, the trap door at the top comes fully into view.
How tight is this space?
Not for you. You have a good, well, you have your wings. So you definitely couldn't have your wings spread out here comfortably. Hawthorne, being one of the broadest members of the group, can't, let the elbows go flying. This is a fairly tight space, but it's not like it's brushing up against you the whole time.
I'm gonna kind of call down to the rest of you. I'm not always very coordinated on ladders. You might want to give me a little bit of extra space in case I fall. I don't want to bring you down too.
All right. Do you, upon reaching the top, open the trapdoor?
Well, yes, I would definitely open the trapdoor. I probably stumble a couple times because I'm not used to the feet of a minotaur as I'm climbing, of course. But yeah, as soon as I reach the door, because I'm worried about everyone underneath me, especially since one of them told me she was gonna fall.
I'm not saying I'm going to fall necessarily, just that, be prepared for the possibility.
Gloria, if you fall, I will catch you. You'll be all right. Not
Thank
going
you.
nowhere.
I feel a little better after hearing that.
I'll open up the door just a little bit, poke my head just to look around to make sure there's no, military-style booby trap.
Got it. So, you start to push the trapdoor open. There's not resistance like it's locked, and there's not enough resistance that there's something heavy on top of it, but as you start to push, you can tell there's a rug on top of it. So you have to kind of get under there and give it a real push. Eventually, though, you manage to push it open enough that you can look around. And Hawthorne, you find yourself in a room that is lit with electric lighting. And so you don't need your flashlight to see in here. And you look around. It looks like a parlor. The walls in here are oak paneled. There are heavily stuffed leather chairs, a empty fireplace, marble. There are several cabinets, and then your eyes catch on something right next to you, because this trapdoor is in the corner of the room, and you're looking around from right to left. So you see fireplace, stuffed chairs, oak walls, and then right next to you, like 2 feet next to you is a large taxidermied wolf, posed in a snarling position, one paw lifted and looking not right at you, but close enough that you turn and you see these large fangs, and the rest of you for a second see Hawthorne dip back down. And then you realize what you saw and poke back up.
Shit! Oh my god. I'm sorry, you guys. It's safe. It's safe. And Hawthorne's gonna climb out and then and stand beside the wolf and be like, "This is why. This is why I'm not a sissy. It's okay to be a sissy, though. I just want to say that too."
It's a piece of furniture. And he thumps it on the nose.
Have some respect, man. It's a creature.
As all of you climb out of this trapdoor, the heavy ornamental decorative rug, the corner of it pushed to the side enough to allow you all access through the trapdoor, you all see this warmly appointed room. It is very clear that the owner of this room, most likely Mr. Durst, but who knows who predominantly used it, was a tobacco enthusiast. There are humidors, pipe racks, there is a gramophone on the wooden shelves that cover the left side of this room, built-in bookshelves. There are some vinyls there, several, like I said, cigar humidors that are located there, a couple pipe racks. There is also on the built into that same wall, one of the bookshelves is a cabinet that you can't see through, but has 2 doors that can be opened. There is an additional freestanding cabinet on the northern wall. There's also a door. The only door in the room is in the northern wall as well. Closed currently.
Nyne is going to go over and check out the cigars and grab a couple of few and light those sons of bitches.
Yeah, absolutely. There, you open the humidor, and it is the cigars that you grab from in there. There are about a dozen in the first one that you open. They are springy when you squeeze them, which means that they are still fresh, which is odd.
Karina, after she gets to the ladder, she's kind of huffing and puffing at this point, and still sweating almost too much. She's going to go look around the room. I think she's going to go check out one of the cabinets, the one in the bookcase first.
Got it. Let me change these sounds really quick.
Make it spooky.
Nope, that's wrong. This is the wrong one. Time out. I clicked the wrong one.
Did someone touch the gramophone?
No one touched the gramophone yet.
I hear music. It's a fucking weird house.
It's overstimulating. It's overstimulating.
I got it.
Ethan,
There we
can
go.
we still hear the chanting from this room?
Great question. And no, you cannot.
God.
Brawk can have some peace.
So let me just... There we go. That's the ambiance I was looking for. So, Nyne, you go over, grab these cigars, no problem. And who was going to which cabinet? Was that Karina? Well, Karina stepped away. Ah, there we go.
Sorry, making dinner.
No, you're good.
She went to the bookcase cabinet first.
Okay. This cabinet, the cabinet that is built into the built-in bookshelves is, as you go over to it, locked. If you want to try to unlock it, you can make me a thievery check. And if you want to try to just punch into it, you can make me a strength check. So you let me know how you want to go about this.
Okay, both of those are horrible. I guess I will do just a thievery check, which is just an unskilled attempt.
Okay, so that is a D4 with a -2.
Nope. What did I get? Just a 3.
A 3? So I think part of the issue is that you don't really have the tools that you need. So what is Karina using to attempt to get into this locked cabinet, considering she doesn't have proper lockpicking tools right now?
I think at first she just kind of like pulls on it, and she pulls on it a little harder, and then she just kind of like fumbles in her pocket, finds nothing useful, finds like a pin in her hair, which just is like this cute little flower on it, and she's going to try to use that, and it just kind of gets stuck in the lock. But she just still stands there staring at this cabinet. She doesn't know why, but she just wants it opened.
Do you need help opening that?
Can you?
I mean, do we think it's important? If so, I could probably unlock it like I did in the other room, or I could try.
I don't think it's worth using magic on.
Are you sure? Because I mean, maybe if there's nothing else really here has been locked. If this is locked, maybe that's a sign. Here, I will almost just to see if I can. I'll spin my fingers, and the same sort of sparks kind of flit out from around them and make their way into the lock, this time turning it as I cast unlock.
All right, make me a power check, which for you is occult. While you are making that check, I will say that Nyne, you grabbed, how many of the cigars did you grab out of the dozen that were there?
All of them.
Just all dozen of them. There is a gold-plated cigar cutter right next to the humidor, along with a very nicely decoratively engraved Zippo-style lighter there as well. So you cut the cigar and get it lit. This room seems to have been... It still has the slight smell of tobacco that has seeped into the walls and the upholstery in here, so definitely not out of place. Gloria, what did you get on that check?
So with 2 1s, it's a critical failure. And I think because this is one of my my magic features, that would be very bad. But what I picture what happens is as I first try this, I think I flick my fingers, or I try to, and they stop moving. And partway through, it's like there's this little jolt, and they didn't do what they were supposed to do. I take a second, kind of try to stop myself from freaking out, and I am going to use a Benny to attempt to re-roll that.
I'm also going to... You don't even have to spend or add a Benny, because for that description of that failure, I'm giving you a Benny. So we'll just call that neutral and go ahead and make a re-roll.
I'm going to attempt that again. And so I take a deep breath, and I try to move my hands again. Okay, both dice exploded, or got a 6 on both, so that is an 8.
8. So that is a success with a raise. So, as you manifest this power, the sparkles you were talking about that come from you actually split, and they go towards the keyholes of this cabinet built into the bookshelf, but they also veer off and go to the keyhole of the freestanding cabinet on the northern wall. And we hear as both click, unlocked.
I turn to Karina. I want to feel like I can do something. It doesn't even really matter if the cabinet doesn't have much in it, but hopefully it does.
She's just gonna like look at you. Thanks. Seriously, you are a lot more useful than you think you are. And she's gonna open the cabinet.
Opening this cabinet, it is largely empty, but it was also not a huge cabinet. And you can tell, mostly because of the presence of a gun in the cabinet, that this is where the weapons of the individuals who owned the house were at one point stored. So what you find in here as you open it, 3 things. First of all, there is a firearm that looks very similar to the one that Brawk pulled out and shot a little wildly with not that long ago. There is also a box of ammunition in here that, as you pick it up and just open the lid, around 20 shots in here. Also, something that catches your eye in particular, Gloria, is on the right door of this cabinet, there is a hook. 2 hooks, actually, where something once was hung and is now missing. But what is right next to that still is a small, essentially quiver that has 12 small crossbow bolts in it.
I kind of lean around you, Karina. Do you think could I grab those?
I mean, I don't see why not. Go ahead.
I kind of like, after seeing the kids disappear, just sort of like touch it a little to make sure it's real so I don't look like an idiot trying to grab something that's not there. And then seeing that they're definitely corporeal, I grab them.
They're yours.
As she does that, Karina is going to reach over with just like a slight shake to her hand, but she's going to take the gun and the ammunition. Kind of, I don't know if it's a revolver or not, but if it's a revolver, she'll flick out the cartridge, but if not, she will.
This
check
one
the
has a
magazine for bullets.
this one has a clip, and you slide it down. The clip is currently empty.
Then she's going to load 6 bullets in it and put the rest of the bullets in her pocket for now.
Got it.
Can I have some of that ammo? I'm prone to miss.
Oh, of course. And she'll hand you the box of ammo.
And he's gonna hold it like it's his most cherished belonging. Hold it to his chest before putting it away.
So what do y'all want, some cigars? Oh, my bad. My bad, Big G. Go ahead. My bad, dog.
You're okay, man. No, I'm good. Those things will kill you if you don't watch it. That's all I'm saying.
I got plenty of lives. It's all right.
So the whole time while everyone's doing this, Hawthorne will be walking around the room, sort of trying to see if there's any more false doors, any kind of weird things that he randomly didn't see before. So he's just trying to notice for that before he just goes straight for this other door to see what's behind it.
Got it. So, make me a notice check then. While Hawthorne is doing that, is anyone else doing anything in particular?
I want to go look for some clothes.
I got an 8.
Because I feel like these people got some fancy shit.
In here, there is one item of clothing that you manage to find. And that is because it is draped across the back of one of the wooden chairs that surrounds a small but very fine wooden table. And it is a maroon, almost Merlot colored smoking jacket.
You know, everyone else is dead in this house. They don't fucking need it. I'm gonna put it on.
There is a stylized anagram, or not is anagram there? Monogram. There's a stylized monogram of a D on the over the heart. Hawthorne, what did you get on your notice check?
I got an 8.
Wonderful. So what I'm going to say then with an 8 is the freestanding cabinet has a frosted glass door on the outside of it. And though you're looking for secret doors in here, other than the trap door that you just emerged from, you don't find any others. However, because you got a raise, you can even, as you're looking through the frosted glass, you can see that there are wine glasses in here, along with a decanter. Do you open it further, or do you wait?
No, I would start to walk towards that just to see, because I can't see it real well because of the frosted glass, just to open the door just to see what's inside.
So I would say that you find a few things in here. This is clearly let's say if the other cabinet were the cabinet of wrath, this cabinet is one of different vices. And there is, as I said, wine glasses. There is a decanter in here with about 3/4 full of a ruby liquid. There's a deck of cards that you find in here. There is also another pipe. There were several racks of pipes in this room. Curved, briar, lots of burns on them, clearly well smoked over the years. This one is long-stemmed with a very small bowl. A metal bowl. And next to it, there is a small, well-made clay jar. Only about 2 inches or so by 2 inches.
Hawthorne's going to pick this up, this one thing, and he's going to be looking at it. He's going to go, the pipe he has it in his hand. Well, I know what all this stuff is, but this one's new.
Would I notice him doing this?
Your attention was just called to it if it wasn't previously.
Then, yeah, she will look over, and does she, even though she can't remember, does she recognize what it would be?
You, and I say this with love to your character, but it is one of your hindrances. You are an addict. And that goes beyond conscious awareness. And seeing this stokes something in you that, even though you don't know why, you see that pipe and you see that jar and you get a tingle up your spine that is of immense pleasure and intense longing.
That tingle becomes almost like a burning rage as she crosses that room within a second. She is going to kind of snatch up, kind of almost try to shove Hawthorne out of the way as she goes to grab the pipe. And before even looking at the jar, she's just going to run it under her nose, smelling just gently. Her hand's still shaking at this point. Not even looking at Hawthorne, but she's just going to stand there and just gently sniff the jar, the bowl of the pipe to see if she can recognize the smell.
Yeah, I didn't even see her coming, so she just sort of boots me a little out of the way, and I just let it happen because I just didn't even notice her, so.
There is a very strong smell coming from this jar, and if you open it at all, you see that it is filled with a dark brown, gummy, sticky substance that, though you don't have a word necessarily for what it is, you at the same time know absolutely what it is. This is opium.
She will take both items and just kind of stand there looking at them both for a second. Before she just gets like a little awkward looking up at Hawthorne. I'm sorry.
You okay? You went kind of carnal there.
It's fine. It's nothing. And she's just gonna kind of walk away towards like one of the chairs where she'll sit down, kind of facing away from Hawthorne.
Hawthorne will sort of glance back at her as he slowly turns back to the cabinet and puts his gaze back on the other things that are in the cabinet, just letting her keep it. He doesn't care. He is getting low on his gin, so he's getting very excited about this liquid that is red, but he's a little bit hesitant if it's wine or not.
Why? Why would you be at all concerned about that in this game? So
he's going to pick it up and smell it.
It's a crystal decanter. You remove the stopper, the glass clinking. Smells like wine, not like blood. It doesn't have the metallic smell. It has a earthy, fruity aroma to it. If we were to go into sommelier mode, it's most likely a Malbec.
I'll take a little swig, and then I'll put the cap back on. And then there's nothing really else in the cabinet. Is there? I know there's wine glasses.
Wine glasses. There is a deck of foiled playing cards. But it was mostly dominated by... There are about a dozen wine glasses in here. And there are actually, as you remove the decanter, behind the decanter, there are 2 more dusty bottles of wine. So that is mostly what it was dominated by.
So I'm going to grab the playing cards. I'm going to go, hey, you guys, maybe we should just sit down for a second and have just a little bit of fun. You know, there's some wine glasses here. There's a couple of bottles. I could share some with you guys. You know, I don't mind. But we got some cards, and he's going to take the cards and take the whole deck and toss it over to Brawk.
And he's just going to, because he's still holding the ammo box, it just kind of hits him. Oh, a game? Here?
Well, we need to reset. We need to calm down. We need to gather ourselves together, don't you think? I mean... Or do you want to keep going and getting another ghoul dead thing attack?
Well, if it's those options, he's going to, as he's holding the ammo box, lean over to pick up the cards, and the ammo spills out. He just throws himself on the ground and starts scooping them all up. It's a pathetic sight to see. But as he sets the ammo box into his coat, he'll pick up the playing cards. What's everyone's game of choice?
You know how to play spades?
I could learn.
I can teach you how to play spades. I can teach all you how to play spades. It's all game. It's a fun... You know what?
No one else knows.
Don't look at me. I know their cards. Cards.
I remember that.
I will also say, Hawthorne, you did say that you were checking out these other things, looking for secret doors before checking out the door. So...
I did get distracted.
No, I mean, it's fine. There's a lot to be distracted by. But as you walk over there and push it open and look out, you see the main hall of the first floor, where that grandfather clock was situated, where the beginning of the red marble staircase leading up. So you are once again on the first floor. The lights in here, the electric lighting is still on and humming. You can still hear the rain from outside, just this little bit of murky gray light managing to make its way in through the windows. But you realize you are back on the first floor.
So I'll turn back at that point and go, well, hey, you guys, we're kind of back where we started, so maybe we should take a second, but yeah, this is interesting.
What kind of house has all these fucking hidden doors and places, and there's a fucking murder basement in the fucking basement?
Hawthorne's gonna instinctually start just pulling out glasses and pouring wine into them for people.
Absolutely.
Anyone want a
Anyone?
cigar?
Was that the cabinet that Hawthorne's going through? Is that the cabinet that unlocked when I unlocked 2 cabinets?
Yes, that is the second one that was unlocked.
I didn't even realize that.
So, and Brawk is gonna sit cross-legged on the floor, I guess shuffling the cards, getting ready to let Nyne show him how to play, and kind of looks around at everyone else. If this is where we started, and he bridges it, where do you think we should go from here?
Well, okay. Your book learner said that we needed a sacrifice down there to feed that whatever that creature thing is downstairs. We're not gonna give it one of us, of course. But oh, thanks. I'm pretty sure that maybe there's someone else here. Or we what?
Okay. Nyne, and he puts the stack. He slaps the stack of cards down onto the hardwood floor. Oh, we can't sacrifice another person. Look at this place. There are enough ghosts. What if? And he slaps his hands down. He's very excited. Leans forward. What if we find a rat in the house? Old houses have rats, right? And he looks, his eyes very wide as he's darting around trying to look for any acknowledgement. He's grasping at straws.
It didn't specify it had to be a person.
We ain't killing nobody.
I think that's a very valid point. Semantics, yeah.
Words are very, very important, and reading between the lines can often result in a better reading. So,
can I think back to what I read on the table?
The words were as simple as they were terrifying in that moment.
Yeah,
Feed
I think it was
him.
I just keep nodding, even long after Brawk stopped talking. I'm just like, I'm trying to run through in my head all the different possibilities that could mean. Like, do we need to cook? Did we go through the kitchen? Is there a kitchen? Does it have to be alive? That's what it seemed like in the book.
We have this moment where these suggestions have been thrown out by Brawk. All of you gathered around this smaller wooden table, the cards just kind of being idly shuffled, glasses of wine poured for everyone, and we see Gloria sitting there trying to work through things. And as we see this, you all hear the sound of a dog barking from above you.
No. No.
Was that a dog?
No.
Or possibly another type of canine. I mean, coyotes don't often sound like that, but I didn't really hear it super closely. Maybe it could have been a wolf.
This house is listening to us. It wants us to commit the same crimes. Anybody want to fucking play cards?
Would you rather we sacrifice one of us or a dog? Karina says, coming from the corner. She's still holding the pipe, and it's just got like a small little line of smoke coming from it at this point. Because I think we should sacrifice a dog rather than one of us. And I don't think we have time for cards.
Why are we sacrificing anyone? Who says this is going to solve anything? We don't even barely know who we are. I mean, we can defer some things because we now know a little bit more about each other as we fought things off and stuff, but I just feel like there's not enough information for us to go, hey, let's go and find this dog and sacrifice it to this thing that, like, eats things with its tendrils.
Hawthorne, you have a good thought. Our need to explore did hinge on two pieces of information that we haven't. One of them we know is now false, and the other we haven't checked. And now that we're on the first floor, maybe we should. We were trying to find their sibling. Trying to find the baby, and also we were sort of trapped in by the fog. Should we see if it's still there?
I think that's a good idea.
Start from the beginning, I guess.
And she's going to leave the room, heading towards front door.
Maybe you shouldn't go alone. But maybe I shouldn't be the only one that comes with you. I grab Nyne's hands and drag Nyne.
I have a good
with me.
hand. What the fuck?
Can you come check the fog? With me?
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, 100%. No,
Okay.
no problem.
I bring Nyne with me to follow Karina.
All right. You all make your way back through the hall, the entry hall, passing the grandfather clock, and as you open the front door and look outside, you can see the entryway here still has that light, the lamp hanging from the chain, swinging slightly in the breeze. And there, you all remember there were several stone steps that led up to this porch. The fog, the mists are pressed in so close, you can't even see the final step down.
So, Karina is going to walk through the door and not down the steps. If she were to reach straight out, would she be able to touch the fog?
Sure, yeah, you can obviously get within an arm's reach. Absolutely.
She wants to kind of run her hands through it and see what it feels like.
Okay.
Whether it feels heavy or oppressive.
Okay. Feels a little cold, but nothing unexpected as you touch it. I mean, certainly it's just mist.
Do we want to try something? Gloria.
Oh, no, sorry.
I'm just staring at the fog. I don't like it.
She's going to take the same rope that she had tied around herself before, hold on to one end, and pass the other end to Gloria or Nyne. I just want to see.
You do know I'm gonna yank the fuck out of you back, right? If something goes wrong. Are you... Hey, look at me real quick. Karina, you good right now?
Oh, I am perfect. And she's going to wrap the rope around her hand once, and she's just going to strut out into the fog.
Nyne, could you make me a notice check?
Fucking Barovian dogs.
They're everywhere.
You said a notice, right?
Can
Yes, please.
I?
Yeah.
Can I too?
Absolutely.
There's no rope around you.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna re-roll for that.
6.
I'm gonna re-roll for that.
Oh, you're doing a notice check. I thought you were going into the fog too, Gloria. I was so scared.
Oh, absolutely not.
Just casually.
I was so terrified.
Oh,
A light jaunt into the nothingness.
I was already chased by the fog. I believe it's
Better.
secretly alive.
I spent a penny re-roll because that was a critical failure.
Welcome.
Okay. So what did the two of you end up getting?
6.
4.
6 and 4. Gloria, because you asked to make this check, I just have a question. Is there anything in particular you are looking for, trying to pay attention to about Karina?
Absolutely. So throughout the house so far, I have been staying pretty close to Karina. I feel like out of all the people here, I feel a bit of a kinship. I feel like I trust her, and I'm confused at why she's walking into the fog. And not that her demeanor has changed too much, but she's walking away. She's not staying with me. Why is she walking away? I just, something feels off.
Absolutely. So, I think you both noticed the same thing, then, for different reasons. And that is, Karina has, especially the last hour or so, all of you have some muscle tension. It's been a little stressful. You're all tense. Karina's shoulders are a little slack. A slightly, just the slightest ghost of a smile on one side of her face. And her eyes are ever so slightly extra lidded. Just look a little heavy. Not a lot. Just a little. So given that, and I would say you would notice this, as Karina was stepping off into the mists, is there anything the two of you do prior to that?
Nyne's gonna look at Gloria. And we're under assumption that's silent of like something's not right. And Nyne's going to grab Karina's collar and lift her up, keeping her from walking into this fog.
Nyne, put me down.
I
Right.
don't think you're
Fucking
good
now.
right now. No, something's not right. Your eyes don't look good. Are you doing this to sound mind, or did something get a hold of you in that fucking house and telling you to walk out here?
I am doing this with 100% certainty that this is my own actions.
Tie the rope around your waist. Don't put it on your arm. That way I don't break your arm if I have to pull you back.
Fine. She will tie the rope around her waist.
I want to open the door so I can hear the grandfather clock. Karina, I'm worried. How long do you think, how far do you want to go? Because I say we give it 2 to 3 minutes. Whether you're back or not. 1 minute. 1 minute. I hear
fine.
Hawthorne, like, what the? Oh, yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, good point.
She's gonna turn to look at Karina, or to Gloria. I just want to go into the fog. I just want to see.
So
what it
10
does.
seconds. If we're just walking in, then we're walking right back out. 10 seconds. I'm going to count it.
Yes.
10 seconds sounds good.
Okay.
10 seconds on the clock.
So she will turn around, glare at Nyne, and walk into the fog.
Karina,
as far as the rope will take her.
Karina steps down the stone steps. And within 2 steps, you can't see her anymore. The wall of mist and fog is too thick.
Pull her back. 10 seconds. Let's go. Pull her back.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nyne, you pull on the rope and the rope comes flying towards you. And we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Gonna let people fume for a second and stew for a second and refresh your drinks, but we will be right back, friends. Don't go anywhere. Just 5 or 10 minutes, then we'll be back. See you soon, friends. Well, hello, everybody. We are back. So, are there any mid-roll announcements that we need to do? Anything that anyone's thought of before we jump back in?
Karina did some white girl shit.
So then, let me turn on the appropriate musicale for this, and we can jump in. Actually, I think I'm just going to leave it with this right now. Okay. Nyne, after 10 seconds, you pull on the rope immediately at 10. And the rope comes flying towards you. No resistance, no weight. Nothing. The rain is coming down pretty steadily out here. You can still hear the ticking of the grandfather clock from the open door. But there is no sign of Karina.
Nyne.
I don't know where she is. She's out there in the fucking damn it. Why didn't she fucking listen to us? Because she could have just stayed right here. We could have walked our asses back in the house.
Fuck,
I'm gonna go back out there and get her.
No. I think the fog is alive. I've been thinking about this the entire house. I think that, like, while it doesn't display the normal indications of a sentient being, wait, maybe it's magical. You can see I'm like kind of going off the deep end. I'm like a little bit stressed about this. I want to try to like flap my wings towards the fog, and I want to attempt to dispel some of the fog to see if I can see Karina. Like, she just stepped off. And then I also cast Dispel.
Okay. Are you doing those at the same time, or are you doing the buffeting of your wings, waiting to see what happens, and then using a power?
I think that I'm going to start flapping my wings, but I'm a little bit impatient.
Okay.
So if I don't immediately see a result, I'm going to start the next course of action.
Okay. You flap your wings. It does create the slightest divot in the fog and mist, but then the way the mists recompose themselves, it looks like stretching fingers reaching out from both sides until they lace and create once again the solid wall of mist.
Living things are made up of one or more cells. There's movement. I don't think mist can create offspring, but I am pretty sure this is alive or magic, and I'm going to immediately try to cast a spell.
What power are you trying to activate?
It's called Dispel.
Okay.
So what I'm going to attempt to do is, my mind is like worrying, and it feels to me like this is either alive or so much of what we've seen in this house isn't alive, but has this kind of weird tinge of the arcane. And so I don't know if it's going to work. I don't really think that I'm in the frame of mind where I like have thought it through clear enough. But to me, it feels like there's some sort of negative energy, some sort of enemy power here. And I know that if it is actually a spell, I could use spell to remove it. But if it's just like a permanent enchantment or an innate ability, it won't do anything. But since I don't really know, I try anyway.
Could you please make me that power check to try to activate this ability first and foremost?
Yes. As I go to do this, I think it's just a continuation of flapping my wings. Like, as I do this now, those same sort of sparks seem to like fly into the mist as well. That is a 9.
9. That is a success with a raise. You send these white sparks, glitter, light into the fog. And it starts...
I sort of start to levitate off the ground as I'm doing this too. Like, there's so much energy here, I almost sort of start to float up.
You lift yourself just with these flaps of your wings, channeling this power, sending it towards the mist where it starts to glitter on the exterior section of the mist. And then we see, as Gloria comes dropping to the ground, grabbing her head, and Gloria, you hear "Bad girl" in your head.
Angel, you okay? You good?
I'm pretty sure that hearing voices falls under one of the textbook definitions of not doing okay. So, no.
Hear no voice?
Did you just have somebody tell you that you're a bad girl? Or was that just me?
No. Is that something you like? No.
I feel like the inflection makes a big difference. That was amazing. Sorry.
What happened?
I don't think the mist is alive. I've changed my conclusion. I think that somebody's controlling it.
Hawthorne, and Brawk have been sitting on the ground still. Hawthorne had put his arm around Brawk, and they were just chilling. Just sort of comforting him because we weren't playing cards, and he had to just set the deck down. But he was comforting him, and then it had just been a while, so we were like, perhaps we should go check on them.
Oh my god, I totally forgot you two were just chilling still. Yeah, you didn't explicitly say you went, so.
And as we walk out there, and Karina is still out there, right? So we don't see Karina, we just see a string going out into the freaking.
You walk.
Levitating.
The two of you walk out. I would say just about the moment that Gloria drops to the ground. So what you see is Gloria heavily breathing, grabbing her head, and Nyne checking on her with this loose coil of rope next to him, possibly even still in his grasp. And then you overheard this conversation between Gloria and Nyne, but you have no sign of Karina.
As we walk out there, I assume Hawthorne is very headstrong and proud as we go out there, and Brawk is in shambles. He is holding on. He's doubled over. He's holding on to the vest of Hawthorne. We're looking around. Where? Karina. And he sees the rope, and instinctively he just dives for the rope and starts tugging at it.
As this happens,
Just tug my arm.
Sorry, you seemed a bit busy. I panicked.
It's all right. It's okay.
I don't know if it's all right.
I mean, no, it's okay. The situation's not all right now.
Calm
What do you
down,
mean?
everybody.
No.
Take a deep breath. What is going on? Can we just take a second? What's going on?
Karina walked her ass out there to this fog.
Who let her walk out there?
Karina let herself walk out there.
You guys didn't stop her.
Actually, Nyne kind of like lifted her in the air to sort of stop her.
That's an effort, at least. I'm proud of you, Nyne.
So like,
Oh.
I also I'm hearing voices in my head.
Voices.
Well, specifically
what'd they say?
Well,
She's a bad girl.
Come on.
yes, that, but more I'm start turning bright red as I try to. So I tried to get rid of the fog. I do you remember when I first came into the house, I was telling you that it was chasing me, that it felt like there was something more there. Well, I tried to blow it away, and when that didn't work, I tried to kind of harness this magic that I've been using in the house, and I did, and I started to see these hands, like the fog was hands, and then a voice in my head said that I was a bad girl.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Nyne didn't hear it. It didn't happen in his head.
Well, he's not a bad girl.
Brawk adjusts his pants delicately. I think we should. Where? How do we? Speaking to you. How do we get? Okay.
Now that I've had a moment to kind of like sit with this information, before I felt the voice in my head and like my head started just like feeling it as if it was going to explode, did I notice anything? Did I have any effect on the fog?
You are still coming to understand these abilities that you have, and yet you feel like you did everything within your power to remove magic, to remove an enchantment. And it is either something that isn't magical, or is so far beyond you that it would be like an ant trying to tear down the Colosseum?
I don't know how we're gonna get Karina back.
As you say that, Karina, you find yourself in endless fog. Nothing except the moving mists around you. You had a rope on you at one point. You don't know where it went. Oop, didn't mean to press that, but that was cool. Like that. There was a rope that was attached to you by your friends. You don't know how long ago it stopped being on you. Was it moments? Or minutes? Or months? Karina, up ahead, you can hear something. What do you hear?
I hear the sound of battle. Metal on metal, swords on scales. There are individuals, if I can see them. Otherwise, I can hear them yell. Familiar voices to a time once past. Battling against a creature that is larger than anything she had ever seen before this. A dragon with these iridescent red scales. Time of past warfare and battling. But as she stands there, unable to lift a finger to help, she watches as each of these individuals are cut down in battle by the dragon. Torn apart by her teeth. Boiled from the inside by her fire. But she stands there, watching. Either too scared or too stunned to do anything, as her longest friends fall before her.
As you watch your friends, your companions, falling beneath the wings and fire of this dragon, falling upon the blades of their enemies, what do you do?
She's going to reach within herself and do her best to reach her god. Do her best to reach the individual she once got power from, begging them for help, for power, for magic. But for whatever reason, her path has strayed from her god, and magic does not come to her fingers. Power does not come to her fingers, and she finds herself kneeling in the grass, unable to help those that she loved.
You watch as a young man who only recently joined you and your crew. You watch as he stumbles towards you, blood pouring from a gash in his scalp somewhere, covering the right side of his face. It's gonna be all right. And he falls dead in front of you. There is another loud roar from above. The dragon flying low overhead, so close with its breath that you can feel the heat, and even though the actual flame was 50 feet away, you see the skin of your friend fallen in front of you begin to bubble and boil. And you turn and you run. Could you please make me a spirit roll for a fear check, Karina? This is going to be, just so you know, with a -2.
Oh, fuck. That is a 0.
Was that a critical failure, or no?
No, it was a
It was a
2
2.
and then -2.
So, could you please roll me a d20?
Oh, okay.
It's one of the few times we actually use a d20 in Savage Worlds.
How do you do a roll just on this? Because I don't have any dice.
Over
with
on
me.
the right side at the bottom.
I can do it too. I have a d20 in front of me.
You can roll a d20. I don't
Okay.
have a d20 with me right now.
On this, low is good, high is bad.
Okay.
And I rolled a 4.
Oh, good. I also have fearless, which means I take 2 off of that roll.
Ooh, that is such a good edge. Okay. Interesting. Walking.
Okay, I do have to ask a question though.
Yeah.
Because when I chose fearless, she gained this attribute after losing everyone. So would she have it at this point or not?
I want you to answer that question. Because you aren't actually going back in time, you're re-experiencing something. You tell me.
Then I'm going to say yes, she would have it.
Okay. Karina, you push back through, you flee from this terrifying scene, this memory. And you flee and are quickly once again consumed by the fog. And even though that vision is gone, the heat is no longer there, the blood has long since dried. You cannot stop thinking about that young man. What was his name?
Jace.
You cannot stop thinking about the look on Jace's face, the blood pouring down across his eye as he told you, it will be all right. The 4 of you hear the scuffle of footfalls. But you don't see anyone. And then the footsteps fade.
Can I start screaming out her name? Like, okay, so Hawthorne will literally, as soon as he starts hearing the footfalls, he'll start screaming out, Karina. I don't want to scream right now. Karina!
There's no response.
Where the hell is she? Where the fuck is she? She's out there in the. She can't go that far. It's not that far. The fog is literally right up here. Call out your name.
Karina, you hear the distant shout of Hawthorne calling your name, and the distant follow-up of Nyne. It all seems fuzzy. You just can't stop hearing the sound of battle, the roar, the feeling the heat. Jace. It's been about 5 minutes since Karina left. The 4 of you standing here, helpless, crying her name. And then you see her come stumbling out of the mists. Karina, mechanically, you have a level of fatigue. but no other lasting ill effects from here. I will say, the rest of you see that Karina looks as though she has been singed in places. There is blood on her hands and a little on her face.
Karina, you good? What the fuck happened to you?
She doesn't look up to address any of you. She barely makes it up the stairs before falling to her knees on the floor, or on the deck. There's tears running down her face. It's not okay. Not okay.
I grab Brawk and start shaking him. Heal her!
And he immediately sinks, and he goes, oh, where are you hurt? And he grabs your hands, and the blood.
There's blood
smearing onto his hands, and he goes, oh, and he reaches for your face, further smearing the blood. And then where does it? I don't see a wound.
It's not okay. It's not okay.
You guys, let's at least get her back into the house, okay? Let's pick her up. Let's get her back into the house. At least we can close the door.
Brawk wraps his arms around her, understanding that she doesn't really have any clue where she is or what's going on, and moves her into the room and just collapses with her on the floor. And looks at Gloria. I don't see any wounds.
You all come inside, shutting the door behind you, leaving whatever that was out there. And I think all of you have a strange moment of realization that right now, this hellscape of a house, with its spirits, corpses, and ghouls, and unknown abominations in the basement, is somehow the safer option.
Fuck it. Sacrifice or no sacrifice, we're killing whoever the fuck's in that damn basement.
And he's holding Karina. We have to get out of here, and the only way, and he gets a little bit of spice and growl in his voice, is through.
Yeah, there we go. Nope. Swallow it. There we go.
Is through.
Yeah.
Brawk, as you hold her, she's shaking at this point, and you can just hear her it's still not okay. It's not okay. And she is just repeating that over and over, her voice growing weaker and weaker every time.
Brawk would have asked you several times what isn't, but I would expect the same repeated phrase.
Hawthorne's just sort of walking about the room. He's letting Brawk sort of handle everything else right now. And everything is pretty much the same, but he's looking for more different trapdoors. He's understanding there's a lot that he is unseen in these areas, and he's going to give them a once-over just to see if anything would come out and try and kill us while we're sitting here.
I'm going to take the handkerchief out of my clutch, kind of clean your hand, Karina, and then I'll just hold your hand.
I think as you hold her hand, she's going to just slowly look towards you. And her eyes are still a little distant. There's almost like a fire behind them of anger and just dread. I loved him. And then she's just going to collapse again into Brawk's hands, crying.
And it's gonna mouth over at Nyne. And just pet your back and offer some grounding.
Okay. What? Okay, look, outside is not a fucking option, like we've said. Whatever the fuck happened to her happened out there. We're not doing that. You're hearing voices in your head, Angel. We got a demon baby in the basement. Which looks like our only way out is to kill whatever's down there, either feed it or kill it. I, on the other hand, I'm here to killing that thing if it's already, like, weak or not at a full stomach. I don't want to fight something on a full stomach. Well, I do want to fight on a full stomach, on me personally. But, like, I don't want to fight something that's full. That's got, like, it's full energy and shit? No, fuck that. Kill that thing half health. It doesn't matter. We go at it with an advantage. We all have weapons now, right? Like, you got a gun, she's got a gun. Me and Raging Bull here, we got our mitts, and he's got a billy club. And then Angel Face over here, she's got a crossbow. Adorable. Anyway, but so we got enough weapons. You two got abilities, like, or powers or whatever. Hoodoo, what you do with your fingers, shit blows up. Whatever you do.
It doesn't come from nowhere. I'm low. We need to be able to rest in some small way, shed this fear and get the courage to go and
I
fight this thing.
I kind of agree. I don't think it's a bad idea to rest, but then also kind of like circling back to your killing it or feeding it question, I'm not sure those are mutually exclusive. I think that maybe there's like a situation where we need to try to feed it to lure it out to try to kill it. I don't know, but I'm with Brawk. I think maybe taking a rest.
Go into that room right there, and barricade it with that chair and that table, and just sleep.
We could maybe we should go in shifts.
Nap shifts.
Can we have the conversation about who invited us here to kill this random creature? And then at the same time, those people took our memories. Like, I know we're just all gung-ho on going down there and killing this thing, but we just don't know enough information. But I'm all for it. I'm realizing in my back pocket, I start pulling out this really long thing that you're like, Mary Poppins, how did he keep it there? It's a bang stick. And he's like, I realized I got this thing. I don't know if it's got any shotgun shells, but I got it.
Okay, does everybody have some type of gun and I don't? The fuck is this?
I was just realizing, I mean, I was looking at all my stuff, you know, my gear.
Out of character, that was one of the items you do not currently have.
Good. Okay.
Because there are some items.
So can I just delete it out?
No. So you see how there is the little icon on the right. One looks like a bag, another looks like a box.
So would my billy club be stored then, since I don't have that on?
No, you've already we've established that you have that, so you have that.
Okay.
But the bang stick, that was something that we prior to starting the game
then
we
rewind, and I just put that back in there.
And it just disappears into your pocket, never to be seen again.
Yeah. I shake my head and I was like, now I'm seeing things.
What are you talking about, Hawthorne?
I was talking about my billy club. Look how great it is. I mean, I had it engraved with my name on it. The billy club is amazing. I just want to say I'm just showing off my billy club. That's what I was talking about.
I do have
Whip it out.
I do have a question. And because you all said you wanted to barricade a particular room, Were you referring to the room you were in previously that you came out of? The cigar lounge style room?
The one that doesn't have pustules or
The
weird
one that has a long ladder that you have
things.
to climb just to get up to.
Yeah.
It's pretty good defense.
Well, then, I do need one other thing. Gloria, could you make me a spirit check?
Yeah. Eight.
Very good. You still feel her. Whoever that was who got inside your mind and spoke to you. It's like an after image, but mental. It's like when it's the mental equivalent of you looked at a bright light, and when you blink, you can still see its outline. And it's kind of like that when you think about that voice, you can still almost feel it still there.
I don't say anything, but I sort of can't stop thinking about it. It's like, don't think about elephants, and then you keep thinking about elephants. I keep telling myself, don't think about it. Creepy voices talking in your head. That's not what you're supposed to be thinking of. And my brain just sort of spirals in on itself as I keep thinking.
Does anyone, actually let me limit this question, Hawthorne, Brawk, or Nyne, Karina is in her own head. And now Gloria has sunken into the recesses of her own mind. Who is anyone in particular attending to one of them or assisting them, getting them into the room? Nyne, who are you assisting?
Gloria.
You help Gloria into the cigar lounge, and Brawk, you guide Karina, which means that what we see as Brawk leads Karina in, Nyne leads Gloria in, the two of them off somewhere else. As they're led in, Hawthorne shuts the door and begins to push one of the chairs up against the door. And with our five now barricaded inside, with these three snarling, stuffed wolves for company in this room, that's where we'll pick up next time. Great session, everybody. Whew, there was a lot in there. God dang. Beautifully done. I would genuinely love to keep going, but I know that people have, lives and sleep schedules and children. All of those things that need attending to. Thank you all so much, as always, for playing this game and telling this story. And those of you who were here listening live or watching live or listening later, we appreciate you so, so much. So I want to go around, say goodbye to everyone. If you have any announcements, any conventions, new dice, new art, whatever it may be, hawk it now. And we will be back in 2 weeks. So if you want to listen to this episode, it should be up online in a week or so. I do have a convention this weekend, so I might be a little late with it. Cut me some slack, but it will be going up there. So let's say goodbye to our wonderful cast. Anna Margaret.
Hello, I'm Anna Margaret. You can find me everywhere on the internet at It's Anna Margaret. This weekend, I will be judging the cosplay contest at the Colorado Cat Festival. And so this is an awesome convention where proceeds benefits the Humane Society and some local organizations. The cosplay contest includes actual cats that are dressed up or people dressed up as cats. I judged the cosplay contest at this event last year, and it was absolutely amazing. I had a wonderful time. If you're in the Colorado area, come say hi. It should be great.
I didn't know this existed.
I'm so sad.
Two events, one in Denver, one in Colorado Springs. This is the Colorado Springs. I'll let y'all know when the Denver one
Please
comes up.
do.
And it's an amazing time. I really love this con. So if you're local, definitely come say hi. And then in 2 weeks, I will be at Gen Con. I will be cosplaying Star Trek characters at the Modifius booth to advertise their new Star Trek TTRPG. They've got an awesome setup that will be, I think, the Bridge. And so I'll have 3 different Star Trek cosplays. You can come take pictures with me at my meet and greets there. Woo! Those are my announcements. All right.
Hell yeah. I am so excited about CatCon. Mav.
I also want to go to CatCon. I'm a fucking cat man. I want to go to CatCon. Hi, my name is Matt. Hey, I'm Mav. I'm your favorite black guy on the internet. I play video games on the internet here on DigitalClubhouseTV. Right now, I'm playing a shit ton of puzzle games. Not even gonna lie. I'm playing puzzle games and they are kicking my ass. But I'm having fun. I'm having lots of fun. I'll be here on Twitch again tomorrow night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'll be playing Unusual Findings, which is like a Stranger Things puzzle game set in the 80s, like actual 80s, and helping an alien get back home. And Saturday, I will be playing American Arcadia, where it is, honestly, the Truman Show on steroids. It's great. Yeah.
Matty.
Hi, I'm Matty. I am working a lot, so I haven't been actually doing anything cosplay related, but you can find my cosplay at Mithril Cosplays. I have recently started my biggest cosplay I've ever done, so that will be done in like 8 months. But I also make dice, so if you like TTRPGs and dice, you can check out my Spotify. I update every week or so. I have all sorts of new sets going on up there and everything, but beyond that, you can find me here. And yeah.
Check her out on
That's all.
Shopify.
I gotta go
On the Shopify.
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the Etsy, but yeah, come check me out on the Shopify.
Sally.
Hey, you guys. I'm Sally. We will be body painting Karlak this weekend, and we also have the release of Pennywise and Spider-Punk prints on Friday, so you can find those in the Etsy shop. And yeah, just I hope you have a great week, and thank you, Ethan, for an amazing session.
And Lauren.
I'm going to cons. I'll be in places. I'm on the internet. What am I doing right now? Oh, Ethan's gonna tell you all about that stuff. So I get to sit here and let him. We are going to be this coming weekend. We are going to be in O'Hare. We are going to be at Animate Columbus, which is going to be really exciting. Really excited to do some stage shows there for D&D, play with a lot of fun people we've never played with before, as well as go out there, make shenanigans, roll some dice, and yell at people, all in the name of the Halloween partnership. And then following that, we will be at GalaxyCon Rally doing the exact same thing. Having a good time and seeing our good old buddy Matt here. That'd be nice. And I'm currently working on several other cosplays that'll be done when they're going to be done. You know what I mean? I'm trying to rush process. I'm mostly in a gaming hole right now. I'm playing my Inheritance Manor, which it is, if you've ever watched me play the Nancy Drew games, it is a move around, solve puzzles kind of thing. You don't talk to anyone. It's very solitary. Got a very Crimson Tower vibe to it. So that's why I'm playing that. And onward. Oh.
Like Lauren said, we will be at Animate Columbus and GalaxyCon Raleigh, and you can listen to past episodes of these streams, of these games, on Go Buff Yourself, and I believe those
Link
are...
in chat.
those are link in chat. I believe those are really all the announcements that I had. So thank you all so much for being here. We're going to raid, so let's get that going. And yeah, appreciate every single one of you. Wild Beyond the Witchlight is going to be off for 2 weekends, obviously, because of the conventions, but we'll be back in August, and we will be back here in 2 weeks. So, we appreciate you all. Take care of yourselves. Do something good for yourself. You deserve it. You deserve it. We appreciate you. And until we see you next time, go buff yourself. Bye, friends. And we are rated.